What's happening, family? Adrian back with another video. I wanted to drop this video real quick and wish you guys a very happy and successful 2022. Happy New Year to each and every last one of you guys. Thank you guys for all of the new subs. I appreciate everyone for being here, man, and continuing to rock with the channel. All of my day ones, man, y'all know I love y'all, man. I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for just continuing to share your journey and your stories with me in the comment box, man. I read everything. I read all the comments and everything. So, man, I just want to appreciate each and every last one of you guys for just being here and continuing to rock with the channel, man. Much love from the bottom of my heart, man, for real. So today's video, we are going to talk about the new supply and how we know that the new supply is probably either just as toxic or basically, like they say, low-hanging fruit and basically a downgrade to you. And I'm gonna give my situation, I'm gonna give a little bit of my personal situation to you guys so you guys can kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. So in my situation, in my personal situation, when I first started dealing with the narc, when we first kind of linked up, she already had a child. He was 4 years old. He was about 4 years old, maybe 3, 4, somewhere in there. Now, when she presented herself to me, she presented herself as a single mother who had broken up with his father and who had maybe tried to date in between, but just hadn't found anything serious in between that. Now, in that storyline, that's a lot of, you know, the young ladies that was in my demographic at that time. So it was nothing like that was an extreme red flag there. You know, it was just something that I kind of looked at like, okay, well, you know, things didn't work out with his dad. She has one child, you know, and like I said, she presented herself as, you know, basically like a damsel in distress of somebody. She did mention that he had been abusive to her. She didn't smear him in the way of like how some of the smear campaigns have come off, and I think that she probably didn't smear him as much because so much time had gone past. Like I think if I had caught her when the son was only, you know, like just being born or something like that, then she probably would have smeared him a lot worse. But she smeared him a little bit, basically saying that he was abusive to her, and you know that basically they just couldn't get along, and that things didn't work out and she wasn't with him. And like I said, she had presented herself as, yeah, I had tried to date a few times here and there, but I'm so busy with work and I'm so busy with this and I have the baby and all of that kind of stuff. So basically she's presenting herself as a great mother and a great single mother who just didn't get along with her child's father, and things went left and that situation just didn't work out. Now she's coming into the situation with me, and I'm like the new guy into the situation, and oh, she's all over me. She's, you know, so in love with me. I'm the best thing smoking and all of that kind of stuff. You know how they love bomb you and stuff. So she's coming on and she's laying it on strong. Now at the beginning, I was attracted to her, but I saw the red flags, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I saw the red flags, and I had already been in a few toxic relationships before that, previous, which I didn't even really know anything about narcissism or toxicity or anything like that. I was just living life and trying to share my life and my experiences with someone. And I was always kind of running into these type of dead-end situations, or not necessarily dead-end situations, but like toxic people, basically. Like I am a magnet for, I guess is, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and for people that have big hearts and wear their hearts on their sleeves, we are a magnet for toxic people, basically. So basically what ended up happening was when she presented herself as a single mother and as a mother that basically just wasn't with the child's father because things just didn't work out, I still asked questions. Even though she had supposedly been broken up with him for years, I was still coming into the situation and I'm like, well, wait a minute. So how is your relationship with his father? And she's like, oh, we're cool. We get along just fine. It's no problem. Like, we're just not together. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, if her and I get together, then I'm going to be in that child's life. And then I'm going to have to deal with the father as well. And then the father's going to have to deal with me. So I'm thinking, just coming from a respectful standpoint, maybe I need to meet the dude. Maybe I need to, let him know that his child is safe with me, and I'm going to treat his child as if his child was mine while I'm with her. Like, I was just thinking, just from a respectful standpoint, and just not wanting to step on that man's toes as a father. And, I was just always taught like that. So I was like, nah, I was asking questions like, well, wait a minute, what's going on with his dad? And she would give me the runaround, and she would give me all these different excuses. And I would ask more and more questions about his dad. And she would basically say, oh, he's real busy, and he basically has all these different businesses. So he's extremely busy to the point where that's why he's not really in the picture. Because now, as I'm starting to get closer to her, she's bringing her son around more. So now I'm able to see a little bit more into that situation than I could previously, because I wasn't as close in. So now I'm seeing that when she's at my house, she's dropping his son off over at this person's house, or this person's house, or this person's house. And I'm like, why is it never his dad? Like, why is he at your cousin's house, or your aunt's house, or this person's house, or that person's house, but he's never with his dad? And then not only is he never with his dad, he's never with his dad's family. Like, he's not with, his grandmother on that side, or any of his aunts or cousins on that side, or any of that kind of stuff. So it was like the red flags in my situation right there. I was kind of, my wheels was kind of spinning right there. Like, wait a minute, something not right. She, you know what I'm saying? She's telling me one thing. She's telling me, oh, we're cool. So I kept asking questions about his dad. Like, oh, wait a minute, I thought you said that his father was this, and I thought you said that his father was that. Now, of course, I'm not knowing that she's lying. So I'm kind of digging into I'm digging into the situation a little bit, but I kind of have to accept what she's telling me at face value right now, because basically that's all the information that I have until I know further. So I was kind of locking her into her story. Basically, like, I'm letting her tell me what it is that she's going to tell me about the situation, but I'm still analyzing it for myself. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, you telling me his father was this and his father was that, and his father was abusive to you, and he used to talk to you crazy, and you almost hit him with a car one time, and all of this kind of stuff. But then on the same token, you're telling me that y'all cool and y'all get along just fine and y'all co-parent just fine. But then you're telling me that he's never with his father on the weekends, and he's never with his father's family or anything like that on the weekends. So I'm like, so what's to that? Like, what's the story to that? And of course, she still had a bunch of just crazy excuses, and just a bunch of nonsense, and like they say, word salad. So she would just spinning me. That's what I call it, spinning. Like, she would basically just spin the situation. Oh no, we get along just fine. Well, we broke up because his dad was an F boy, and she used to tell me that his dad was a fuck boy, and basically he just wanted to jump from woman to woman to woman and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm looking at her one day and she's telling me that, and I'm like, well, if his dad is an F boy, then what'd that make you? And she just got quiet, and she just like froze. And that's when I knew. I'm like, exactly. Like, come on, man. You are presenting yourself as the victim in this situation, and now I'm starting to see that you're a little bit more the culprit than you first let off. So now, again, I'm starting to, like, in my situation, I'm asking about the father, even though he had been removed from the situation for 4 years. Now, let's fast forward to my situation. My son right now, as I'm making this video, my son is 1 year old. My son is currently 1 year old. So that means, and basically I was discarded the day after we found out she was pregnant. So that means that I was discarded, and she brought the new supply in before she started showing. So she's over there having sex and doing this thing and, locking him into the situation before she starts showing. Now, when she started showing, she tried to come back to me, but I wasn't going for it because she hid him. I didn't know about him. I didn't know that she, when she discarded, she basically, oh, I just need time to think. You know, having a baby is stressful. And I'm like, but you wanted the baby. Like, you went out of your way to get pregnant. So I don't understand how now it's stressful to you to have a baby when this is what you wanted. We talked about not having a child and all of that kind of stuff. And she went out of her way, basically pulling the condom off in the middle of sex and all of that kind of stuff, basically wanting a child. And she had mentioned, and I should have caught it then, but she had mentioned like a couple of her cousins was talking about getting pregnant and all of that kind of stuff. And that's what kind of prompted us to have the conversation of saying, well, right now, the way our relationship is, it's not a good idea for us to have a child in this type of situation. And she's agreeing, oh, I know, yeah. You know, we got to tighten things up a little bit more if we're going to have a child. And, you know, she's giving me all this runaround, basically the word salad and future faking and all of that kind of stuff. But basically what ended up happening was she went out of her way to get pregnant. And now that she's pregnant, now, oh my God, I need time to think. And so that's the start of the ghosting. That was the start of it. And I'm like, that makes no sense. You chased me down for 10 years. It's like this woman literally acted like she was my friend, chased me down because I was attracted to her, but I did not necessarily want to be in a relationship with her from the very beginning because I kind of saw some of the red flags. Like they say, we always see a little bit of the red flags, and I'm kind of like weighing my options because I had already been in toxic situations before that. So I am thinking to myself, well, maybe I need to move a little slow in this situation. So although I was attracted to her, my guards were still up, and I was still kind of like, well, I'm a chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm a let life come to me. I'm not gonna force a relationship with her and all of that kind of stuff. So because my mindset was there, we never really got past the friendship point until she got pregnant. Now she went and like I said, from my standpoint, she kind of knew that I was pulling out of the situation because we had already been through this circle 2 or 3 times. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm getting older now. I want a serious relationship and all of that kind of stuff. And you can't really give me that. Now at the time, I thought that she couldn't give me that because her mother runs her life. Now that's another red flag to a lot of narcissists, because a lot of narcissists come from narcissists. So what I believe is her mother is definitely narcissistic, and she passed it down to her daughter. So her mother is like the queen bee narcissist, and her daughter is like, she's the next one in line, like, and she's a complete psychopath. My child's mother, she's a complete psychopath or whatever. But absolutely, like, what, basically in my situation, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm asking questions when this child is 4 years old. Now, my child is only 1 year old now. So what is the new supply saying to her now? Like, if he's any type of respectful man, if he's any type of good man, if he's any type of, that's going to raise all types of red flags. Because if I was in that situation and I knew that, wait a minute, you just had a baby, this baby is less than 1 year old, and now you in the bed with me already, then that's all types of red flags for me. Because number one, even if you say, oh, he was abusive, even if you say, oh, he was this, or if he was that, or whatever lie you tell him, I'm still going to be like, but how are you okay with just jumping straight into the bed with a dude knowing that you just had a baby by another dude? Like, you literally, the wounds from your, the wounds haven't even healed up yet, and you are already having sex with somebody else. Like, how do you make that make sense? You know what I'm saying? So definitely the new supply is either definitely low-hanging fruit, codependent to the point where he's just going to accept anything in his life, or he's toxic too, and he just don't care about the situation. He is going to play the situation out to get what he wants out of the situation. He wants the benefits of probably having sex with her, and you know, she may be giving up some money and all of that kind of stuff right now to kind of try to lock him into the situation, love bombing him, of course. So you got to look at the situation for what it really is. Like, that's why I have never been jealous of anything in the situation. I've never looked at the situation like, oh, she ran off to somebody better than me and this, that, and the third, because number one, I know who I am and I know the type of love that I bring to the table. So, and the type of love that I bring to the table is like, I know my heart so well that I know that anybody that I give my love to is going to be a blessed person, because that's just what's in me, you know what I'm saying? And that's the person that I am. And it's not me tooting my own horn or anything like that, but that's like literally, like, I feel like that's the God in me. And anybody that actually deserves my love, like any woman that I get with that actually deserves my love, she is going to probably experience the, you know, she's going to experience a beautiful life. Let's just say that, because I have a lot of love to give. I've always had an extremely big heart. So I'm not a perfect man, but at the same time, I have an extremely big heart and I love my people. And if you're my lady or my wife or whatever the case may be, then you're my people. You know what I'm saying? So I take care of my people. I love them, and I love on them hard, because I know one day we might not have them. So, and I think that's a huge difference in us and the narcissists as well. We value that. I value my friendships. I value the people that's in my life that mean something to me. And in my situation, I was an extremely good friend to the narcissist. Like, even in times where she, you know, didn't deserve my friendship, I was an extremely good friend to her over the course of a lot of years. So we can sit here and say, oh yeah, the narcissist doesn't miss you. The narcissist, I know for a fact that as good of a friend and as much as I had done for her, even if she may not miss me being the person that I am, she definitely misses the benefits of having me around in her life, because I did, you know, so much and opened my heart up to her so much. So I know for a fact that not having me in her life is definitely a downgrade to her life, number one. And then number two, this new person, that whoever this guy is, he can't have no type of backbone to be with somebody who just had a child with somebody else. And the child is still right now, like I said, my child is still right now only 1 year old. So you've basically got tied into a situation, and she tried to create this love triangle or whatever. I just wasn't playing the game. She wanted, you know, to pit me and him against each other and have us arguing and beefing and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm looking at the situation like, if you think that I'm gonna be, you know, like, if you think that I'm gonna jump off a bridge because you a hoe, like you got me completely fucked up. You know what I'm saying? If you think that I'm gonna jump off a bridge and, you know, throw my entire life away fighting for you, and you are not worth the, you know, you're not worth the scum on the bottom of my shoe, for real. So I'm looking at it like, if you thought that I was gonna chase you, you got me wrong. If you thought that I was gonna be jealous of the new supply, you got me wrong. The only thing I care about in this entire situation is my son. Now, if y'all play with him, then we got a problem. But until then, you know, y'all do y'all thing. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Go have all the fun and have all, you know, live your life and live it more abundantly. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's my video, man. I just wanted to tap in just to let you guys know, don't worry about the new supply. The new supply is garbage, man. The new supply obviously either is just as toxic or extremely codependent, to the point where they just don't see through the narcissist lies and they don't see through the narcissist bull. So obviously they can't hold a candle to you in the first place, you know. So that's my video, y'all. I love you guys. I will talk to y'all, man. That's the first video of 2022. Love you guys. I will talk to you soon. I'll holler at y'all in a minute.